What's up, everybody? Coach Artie, also known as Coach Artie Raps, on YouTube. Just trying my hand at a longer form video where I just kind of talk about certain topics. And man, guys, I'm open to suggestions. If you guys want to hear me talk about something, you guys are curious my thoughts on something, just for what they're worth, I'm happy to do them. Okay, but man, today, guys, honestly, wanted to talk a little bit about the Andrew Wiltse situation. I think I've seen people mention it on podcasts and kind of bring it up here and there, but I haven't seen anybody like just really talk about what's going on. At least like not in like one spot. And so I've followed Andrew and just the Daisy Fresh kind of since its inception for a long time. I think Andrew competed against my old coach, John Combs, back in 2020 on a Fight to Win card. And so I'd been familiar with Andrew, I think, a little bit before that. But, I just remember the documentary coming out, the, Daisy Fresh American Jiu-Jitsu story. And I was just super into it, man. And I think Andrew was someone who I think off the bat when I first saw him, and, I think I used to think he was kind of a brute, but, when you get to know him, you watch him and how he breaks things down. He's a really, really just very intellectual, smart kind of guy, and, man, maybe a little too smart, and so, I think I saw a comment the other day that really like broke this down really well. They said, I feel like we were on the verge of watching some really cool rags to riches success story, about this guy who here's a guy who used to literally live in the gym, used to sleep on the mats. And then eventually he, I remember in like 2021, he upgraded and was living in a box outside of the gym, and that was like this big upgrade for him. It just seemed like he was like slowly getting better and better. I remember when he got the Panda Express sponsorship, right? It was like this big deal. Like, I remember like just like sending it to a bunch of different people, and, man, I was just got really into Andrew, man. I was like hyper studying his rolling footage, was watching, I have, I think most of his instructionals aside from like a couple, like the passing lasso one I don't really have, but, I've just see someone who I've just spent a long time studying, watching how he rolls, how he breaks things down. And, just to kind of see him, like where he is now, it's sad, and if you guys don't know, the YouTube channel got deleted, and some of my favorite things to watch were like those old videos of him at Triangle Academy, Clay Mayfield's gym, rolling with these black belts, right, and just whooping up on everyone in the room, so I think I first kind of noticed, this is back in like 2022, him kind of start to have the beginnings of like, the first Manic episode. I think if you guys remember, he had like gone to a gym and he was teaching, he was touring, doing seminars. Things were going good. This is after he got the sponsorship. And he went to a gym and he ended up staying there for 6 hours and teaching the entire content of the no-gi buzzsaw passing, and that's, I think, when, me and a few other people, I think kind of thought something might have been up, and then I remember seeing him in the BJJ Fanatics group. He just, he writes this post that's like, I have to scroll multiple times to get to the bottom of. So, that's when I kind of started noticing something seemed to be up, and those are all telltale signs, if you guys don't know, of mania, but I think another side to this is, and he talks about it. He mentions it in an interview, when he kind of came back for a little bit in 2023. He said he got put on Adderall, and I remember the vlog where he got put on Adderall. He was in his car and he was basically talking about it, saying that it felt like there was like a blanket, or like a veil over his eyes, because he said he went to a doctor and the doctor said he had ADHD. And he basically said it felt like there was like a veil that was over his eyes and pulled over his head, and had been over his head for like his entire life. And all of a sudden, when he got on Adderall, it got taken off, and that's a positive thing, but that's also something you hear people say when they, as something you hear addicts say when they first find their drug of choice, where has this been my entire life, so, I think it just seems like that, and he talks about it, and then there's an interview he does in 2023 when he had kind of come back a little bit. And he had said that, he's like, one thing you don't do is put somebody on a stimulant like that without a mood stabilizer, someone who's manic bipolar, so Andrew's manic bipolar, he's talked about it in the past. And he said it just, it kind of triggered that first manic episode, and I think something, I have a former partner who dealt with a lot of like mania, just these extreme ups and downs, and I definitely know, like, as high as you go, whenever you're in the manic state, however high you go, and apparently from everything I've heard from everybody who's experienced it, it feels good. Like, it's an actual high. Like, you feel euphoric. You feel like you can do anything, and you hear him talk like that, right? He's like, I'm smarter than everybody. I'm the smartest person alive. He's like constantly laughing, and like, it's apparently it's a good feeling, but of course it's, as high as you go is as low as you go. And so whenever you hit the depression side, it's like you experience obviously the exact opposite, and I think that's kind of what we've seen the past couple years since 2022. He had the manic episode summer of 2022. He kind of crashed in like 2023, didn't post anything. I was really happy to see him coming out of the depression and making videos again. And it just seemed like it just something slipped, and now it's like it's bad to watch. I've heard he's been kicked out of gyms for threatening the gym owners. It seems like, I mean, his house burned down, which, I mean, who knows what's behind that, who's behind that. I'm certainly not in a place to make any kind of accusations or anything, but it just, in the midst of everything that's going on, it's just a really crazy thing to see happen. It seems like the guy's just homeless now, living out of his car with his girlfriend. And it just, the whole thing just seems like just a really sad way to go out, for someone, again, like someone who, it could have been such a cool success story, a guy who lived in the gym, and then he, and does a sport that, historically doesn't make a lot of money, and he's able to find a way out, and through instructionals and touring. And, I remember when he competed on Who's Number One and he got that dub, it felt so good. And, here we are now. So I don't know, guys, just figured I would share my thoughts on it, open to hear any kind of feedback, any kind of criticism, anything else you guys have for me, and just wish nothing but the best for Andrew. I hope this situation doesn't end in a really tragic way. So those are my thoughts. Thank you for listening, guys. And man, if you guys have the time, please subscribe, please like the video, please leave a comment. All these things help my channel grow. I'm just trying to grow, man. I'm just trying to keep getting better and better at making content. So appreciate you guys. Have a nice day.